Hello class, we are beginning our next lesson on lesson 3.5, multiplication of decimals. When you multiply decimals, you want to treat them as if you're multiplying whole numbers. And then the next step would be to add the number of decimal places in each of the numbers you're multiplying. Whether you're multiplying 2 numbers with decimals, 1 number with decimals, or 3, or even more than that. You need to add up all of the decimal places. And then you will place the decimal point in the answer so that the answer has as many decimal places as the sum found in step 2. Let's go over an example. Example 1 has 2/10 times 3/1000. Now it might be easier for you to see this written out as a fraction. So 2/10 times 3/1000. Now you all know how to multiply this across from doing fractions. 2 times 3 is 6. And when you multiply tens, you want to multiply the ones. 1 times 1 is 1, and then add up all the zeros. That is 4 zeros. I'm going to add my comma. This is 6/10,000ths. Okay, now we're going to turn this into a decimal. So we know that we have our tenths place, hundredths place, thousandths place, 10,000ths place. This is my answer. Another way you can do this is just multiplying the 2 and the 3 together, which is 6. And then count all of the decimal places that are there. So we have 1 decimal place here. We have 3 decimal places here. You add those together and that equals 4. 4 total decimal places. So I know with this 6, I need to bring the decimal over 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put my decimal there. Okay, so this turns into this number, 6/1000ths. Example 2, multiply 35/1000ths by 25. So I'm going to start with 25/1000ths on the top and multiply, 25/100ths on top and then 35/1000ths on the bottom. Okay. First I'm going to count the decimal places in each of these numbers. I have 1, 2 decimal places. And then 1, 2, 3 decimal places here. And add this together, and this is 5. Now I'm ready to multiply. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Now I'm going to multiply my 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And then 3 times 0 is 0. I'm going to add this together. I could go through the steps of multiplying the zeros, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and add this as it is. If you need to do that, you go on ahead if that helps you keep your place. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. 0 plus 0 is 0. Now I've got 5 decimal places that I need to count over. So 1, 2, 3. I'll just go ahead and write it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I need to add another 0. So this is what my final answer would look like. Please box your answers for me to see clearly. Okay, next example. 4 6/10 times 3 749 thousandths. I'm going to put my 3.749 on the top. Did you notice that I'm not lining up my decimals like I did in addition and subtraction? It is different for multiplication because it's all about counting the decimal places for multiplication. So my top number here, I have 3 decimal places. Write it over here, 3 decimal places. And then here I have 1 decimal place for a total of 4. Now I'm ready to multiply. 9 times 6 is 54. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 5 is 29. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 2 is 44. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 4 is 22. Now I'm going to multiply my bottom number. 4 times 6 is 36. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 1 is 29. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Add this together. I have 4. 9 plus 6 is 15. Make a 10. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 4 is 14. Make a 10. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and then 1 plus 0 is 1. Now I've got 4 decimal places I need to bring over. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my number here. Four, 5, 4. Okay, so I have tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths. Okay, my number is 17 and 2,454 10 thousandths. Box my answer. And let's move on to the next example. I have 86 hundredths times 18,000. So that's a lot of zeros that I don't want to have to deal with. Let me show you a trick. Okay, I'm not going to multiply all of those zeros initially. I'm going to add them at the end. Okay, so I'm going to multiply 86 hundredths times 18. 8 times 6 is 48. I'll just write it here. 8 times 8 is 64, plus 4 is 68. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 6 is 6. Now I'm going to multiply my 1. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 8 is 8. And 1 times 0 is 0. And then I'm just going to fill in a 0 here and add this across. So I have 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. And then I've got 14 again. Plus 1 is 15. Carry that 1. And then add those 3 zeros. Notice I've got 2 decimal places in the number 86 hundredths. So I need to bring this decimal place over 2 times. 1, 2, and my answer is, all right, I'm going to add my comma. Can't over 3 places, add my comma. My answer is 15,480. you don't have to include the decimal when you have a whole number. If it's zeros after the decimal, you can, and it's not wrong, or you can choose to do it, your choice. Okay, I have an estimation problem. Example 5, if gasoline costs 92.9 cents per gallon, we want to estimate the cost of 17.5 gallons of gasoline. Now, grown-ups do this all the time. We think, oh, okay, I've got this much money, I've got this much cash in my wallet. Do I have enough cash, or do I need to go to the ATM? Or we often want to know, we just want a roundabout number of how much something costs. So we will estimate the cost of an item. Now, 92.9 cents. Let's turn this into a dollar. So to turn this into a dollar, we need to move this decimal over 2 times. Okay, we need to move it over this way. So then this becomes basically this becomes 92 cents, okay? Now, we want to estimate this, and because when you estimate or you round numbers to make it easier to do it in your head. Now, we're going to round this to the nearest tenth. So I'm gonna round my 9, which means I need to look to the number to the right, which is a 2. That number isn't above 5, so the 9 is going to stay the same. So it's going to stay 0.9. And then for my 17.5 gallons of gasoline, I'm going to round that to the nearest 10, which would be 20. So 20 gallons. So let's multiply this, 20 gallons times 9 cents. And really, we could do that in our head, because we have 9 times 2 is 18. We add that 0, and then we notice we have 1 decimal place. So I need to add a decimal right here. And since we're dealing with dollars, my answer is $18. That is my estimated price. And you actually would use this symbol that looks like this. It means approximate. Okay? Now let's do the actual. Let's see how close the estimate was to the actual, or the exact cost. So I'm going to multiply 17.5 times 0, let's see. I think I want to set it up where I have 0.929 on top. It just helps me out a little bit to have the number with more digits on top. Okay, so I'm not going to do this one. So this is a little bit longer, but we can do this. 9 times 5 is 45. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 1 is 46. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. Now I'm going to multiply my 7. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 6 is 20. 7 times 9 is 63, plus 2 is 65. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 6 is 6. And then multiply my 1. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 9 is 9. And then 1 times 0 is 0. Probably didn't have to, that probably wasn't necessary. If you need to, go ahead and fill in those zeros if that is helpful before you add. Let's add this together. 5. 4 plus 3 is 7. 6 plus 9 is 15. So I've got 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12. I make a 10 with my 9 and 1, plus 6 is 16, and then add a 1. All right, so I have 3 decimal places on top, plus 1 decimal place on the bottom. I'm going to carry this over, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So my exact answer is 16,257.5. Now we're dealing with money, so we need to stop it at the 100th place. And because this is a 7, I'm going to turn this into 26 cents. $16.26. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about that. Okay, if you have need any assistance, just let me know. I'm here to help you all and hope you do well on your homework.